Hi, I'm Jack Canfield, and welcome back to another segment of Talking About Success, where we bring you authors, books, programs, all kinds of things that will help you create more of a successful life, to experience more meaning, more fulfillment, more joy, and more achievement in your life. My next guest is Dr. Tim Warren. He's quite an amazing guy, a mountain climber, climbed your first summit at age 4, has climbed ascended the top of the tallest mountains on 4 continents, including Mount Everest. Twice you went up there, and the second time
Once
you made it to the top. Exactly, I love that. And written a couple of really powerful books, 1 Second Wellness, which we're going to talk about in great depth, and also Lessons from Everest. So you're into the health world in a big way as a doctor and a health practitioner and an advocate for all of us living much more healthy and fulfilling lives. We all know today that people aren't healthier, that we're getting sicker instead of better. Why is that?
I think we've lost the main attribute, which is the focus to the now, to the present. We're thinking we're living in the future, we're living in the past, and we're disconnected with the now, which is the only place that health really exists is in the present. So my book, 1 Second Wellness, illustrates that, gives concrete steps to change that.
Very good, very good. So we have more shows, more programs, more books than we've ever had before on wellness, on health, everything from YouTube to TED Talks to whatever, and people are fatter.
We've become lost in the minutia, and we've lost contact with the truths that will make us healthier. Some of those healths are just concentrating on the present, focusing in the 3 dimensions of life: the physical dimension, the chemical or the nutritional dimension, and the mental dimension. And so those are the 3 that I connect in the book, make them usable and doable and guilt-free for people's lives.
Guilt-free. Talk about that for a second.
People are living with guilt, and it's a part of living in the past. They're not focused, they're concentrating on the problem rather than the solution, and the solutions are really very simple. There's a win and there's a benefit and there's a glory in making a good decision right now in health and wellness. And I teach people how to do that in my book.
Very cool. Now in your book, you have something called the dashboard exercise. Talk about that.
Well, the dashboard is how I survived climbing Mount Everest. And I failed the first time, and I found that was a wonderful thing to fail on such a great endeavor like that, because I learned the lessons and what I needed to do to be able to be successful the next year and summit the top of the world. And the dashboard was, when you look at the dashboard of your car, you're glancing down while you're driving, you're getting an instantaneous feedback into what information you need. Well, that's what people have lost today in their health and wellness. I teach people a virtual dashboard in their life for wellness, so they can glance down at their dashboard and see boom, 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 instantaneously what they need to know to improve their health and wellness. Mm-hmm. Easy.
Now, most people that are parents, like I am, a grandparent now as well, interested not only in my own health, but in the health of my family. What's most important to know about that?
Well, setting a good example is the most wonderful thing that we can do. Telling people what to do never really worked. As a chiropractor, and I was very successful in practice, I cared for over 250,000 people. I was in the room working with people 250,000 times. And I found that, and I have the tendency to tell people what to do for the first half of my career. That totally did not work. So then I kind of used more of the Socratic method, asking questions and drawing it out of them. That was way more successful. And those principles are the ones that I've used in the book.
So say a little more about that, the Socratic method of drawing something out of them.
The Socratic method is asking questions. Socrates asked questions to get truth, instead of telling people what to do. When nobody wants to be told what to do. But people know the answers. It's innate within them. So when you ask questions and you draw the answers out of them and it comes from them, it's more inclined to produce change in their own lives. They've told you the answer themselves. And so they embody it, they know the truth, then they're more inclined to make a quantum leap in their own life and health.
So I'm sitting in your office. What kind of question would you ask me?
What are you doing today? First off, what are you doing? They know I'm coming from a health direction, so they automatically just kind of start, what's good today in your life? People just expound. And so then I'll take whatever whatever I'm learning at that particular time, I'm going to ask a few pointed questions about and draw that out of them. They tell me what's happening. And they know what I'm getting at subconsciously or consciously. And so they share it. And then they're more inclined to embody that and create a real change for themselves in health and wellness, in those 3 dimensions of wellness.
So I'm guessing my next question fits into that. I've heard about the scare care, not a good thing.
Scare care doesn't work. And scare care is like if you put the diseased lung on the cigarette box, that's been proven it just does not work. People are going to feel bad about themselves and they're going to go out and they're going to smoke another cigarette. So that did not change behavior. So changing behavior is much more subtle and much more nuanced than that. And I think it goes right back to the Socratic method. People know what they need. It just needs to be drawn out of them slowly. So again, the Socratic method is helpful.
Well, that makes sense. I was just interviewing a person not too long ago who works with kids. He had been in prison, and now he works with kids on the that are potentially headed that direction. And there was a TV show and a movie that they used to show to kids in school called Scared Straight, and it was all about how bad it is in prison. It wasn't working. And now they're working with what they call steered straight as opposed to scared straight, because the fear actually was not having any kind of effect. So you're saying the same thing.
Yes.
In terms of the healthcare. Very good. So you have a vision, obviously, because we've talked about this before we got on air, about a vision for where American healthcare should be going. Talk about that.
I could save $1 trillion in the American healthcare market.
$1 trillion.
$1 trillion over 10 years.
Talk about
Absolutely, because most disease, the healthcare dollar in the United States is going to lifestyle diseases. Lifestyle diseases like type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, degenerative arthritis and such things. Those are lifestyle obesity, all the deterioration of high blood pressure, stroke, heart disease. Those are generated by lifestyle choices. And that is where my book, 1 Second Wellness, comes in. It's about taking care of things 1 second at one moment at a time, easy breezy, step by step. And those diseases, if I could get enough people to pay attention to those and internalize those simple messages, we don't need more facts, we don't need more figures. People are blown away by that. We need concepts that are easy for people to follow. And when they do that, the healthcare dollars are going to evaporate from what we've had to spend up till now.
Well, that would be great.
$1 trillion over 10 years.
That's amazing.
When I started out with $50 billion, and all I want is 10%. But when I started at $50 billion, but then in my research, it was just it'll be $1 trillion. It's amazing what we're throwing money at, and we've proven that the more money you throw at in healthcare, it's wasted.
Right.
I mean, 30 years ago, I was lecturing that a baby born in a field in Cuba has a higher chance of survival than a big city Chicago hospital, even though we throw tons more money at the issue. I said that 30 years ago, and it's even worse now. If you Google on the World Health Organization and the ranking of the national rankings of health, we're dropping like a stone. But we throw by far the most money at the issue. There's no relation to the throwing the money at the issue and the results we're getting. We're getting poor results, and we're going in the wrong direction.
Well, isn't it true that we're constantly focusing on treating the symptoms rather than dealing with the root causes, which are the food we eat, the lack of sleep, the lack of exercise, what you're calling lifestyle?
But yet all we've done up until this particular point, all the research, all the programs, all the, Michelle Obama with the garden, all the Oprah shows, everything that we've done and all the internalizing and education that we've done apparently is not working because we're still going in the wrong direction. So I had to kind of think out of the box, what is the main reason why we're not succeeding at this? And it's got to be simple, because real universal truths are simple truths that anybody can get.
Yeah.
And we're living in the past, we have guilt from the past, we have fear of the future, but we do not have the connection to the present. That was, I think, is the missing link.
So this 1 second wellness is then really about, it's not like you're going to achieve it in 1 second, it's about coming into the present 1 second. And
it's mindfulness, it's making wellness with mindfulness.
Very good, very good. Well, I love it.
awesome.
Do you save our world $1 trillion?
10%, small price to pay.
Yeah. We'll get you a Medal of Freedom.
I would take that rather than the 10%.
I bet you would. I bet you would. Okay, you heard it here. 1 Second Wellness. And I would encourage you to read the book, but not just read it, but really put it into practice. Because a friend of mine just coined a term called shelf esteem. You read something, you take notes, put it on a shelf, you don't do anything about it. Sure. But coming into the present, which is the only place you can do anything about anything anyway, is really the way to go. So I encourage you, get the book. Now, if people want to find out more about you, website?
drtimwarren.com, lessonsfromeverest.com, onesecondwellness.com.
All right, 3 websites. You see them on your screen. Pick one, pick 2, pick all 3. Go there, and let's get your health back to where it needs to be so that you can be experiencing the joy, the aliveness, the creativity, and the success that you want to have in your life. Thank you very much for joining me, Tim.
Thank you, Jack.
All right, you stay tuned. We'll be right back.